so we
Yeah,
can
just
that
make sure you
works.
suggest.
Is Antonio here? He back yet?
Man,
Can we open the door? I'm trying to have that.
yeah.
I don't know anything that's going on. We're just gonna have conversations.
I don't know what's going on. I just came from Newburgh Park. I was on the plane.
I can understand.
I really don't. I was like, oh my God, I'm not gonna talk.
Luckily, in those kind of scenarios, the entire conversation won't be just on you. You just be able
Yeah.
to chime in whenever you need to.
And we are live here at the Power106 FM Ky studio. What is going on over Kentucky? It's a beautiful, beautiful day outside, and there's a lot going on in the city. So, what's going on today? We have a special show. We are going to be talking about gun violence in our community and those affected by it, and we have some special guests in the studio, which of course I'm going to allow them to introduce themselves and tell their stories. But today I've got my favorite co-host, guest host, Dre the Gemini in the building with me. What's going on? I know you already had one show going today, but
Good afternoon. You still at work, y'all. Power106 on the radio as always.
yeah, look, he came back to do a whole nother show on a Saturday. That's usually not normal for him. I think you're gonna be here Wednesday night too, ain't you?
Am I?
Yeah, I think so.
Oh, okay. That's news to me.
Well, you said we had a meeting before my show, which generally you say for my show, so I'm just, throwing it out there.
Oh, man. Okay. Yeah, more work to come, ladies and gentlemen. Smile, cheese.
But you get to eat.
Okay, that might help out.
Happy Belly Bush Truck. It's going to be on me Wednesday night. See, that worked out. All right, so what's going on, ladies?
Hi. I'm glad to be in the building.
All right. So what we need y'all guys to do, we need you to, if you are watching the live stream, please share, tag, comment. We are watching the live streams. We've got live streams going from around the room. And if you are on the website, share the link, www.kyheartmedia.com. Also on all streaming platforms. So we need you guys to share and join this conversation because we need to have this conversation. This is a needed conversation, and some folk have had it, but everybody's not having it, and that's definitely what we need to be doing. So we're gonna start with you, Ms. Montoya.
Where you gonna know my name?
Yeah, go ahead, tell you.
My name is Montoya Ware. I am the mother. I hate to say murder victim, but it is what it is. It's reality. So I am the mother of Jonah Ware. He was 19 years old. He was shot and killed August the 7th of this year, 2020.
What was your son's name?
His name was Jonah Ware. He was AKA Lil Flex. Hit the buckle. So, yeah.
And we have you introduce yourself down there.
My name is Marie Wren. I'm from Louisville, Kentucky. And my sons were brutally murdered in Louisville, Kentucky. May 22nd, 2016. His name's Maurice Gordon and Larry Gordon. They were brutally murdered. We're just trying to fight to get justice for these kids and reach out to the community.
Understand. Okay. So in situations like this, you say you're trying to get justice. Have you seen anything, any edgeway, anything that might actually look like justice coming your way so far?
Well, I've been waiting for 4 years. I've been going back and forth to court, and it don't look like they keep prolonging this case. It's a capital murder, premeditated murder, and they let 2 of the murder victims out, which they keep pushing this court date, and I feel like, for it being a capital murder case, why is it taking them so long in Jefferson County to even get justice?
Understand. So you share the same frustration that a lot of other people seem to be sharing here in Louisville as well. And yours is taking a lot longer than it should. So, Ms. Ware, in situations such as that, where you see something like that goes on, what is the progress with regards to anything going on with your case?
The progress with what's going on in my son's case is let me set this up. No, I'm not gonna set this up. Yeah, set it some kind of way. I don't know. We gotta be good over a little bit. All right. Oh, left this all on me, but right. Let's see this. But anyway, so what I've learned with cases like this okay, so here's the thing. When you never ever like open your eyes to it until it's in your own backyard. You know what I'm saying? Until you wake up and then boom, you're in that whole situation. So I had to really, honestly, the detective was ticking me off. Because here's the thing. They're just, to me, the police department, the detectives, they are just like the school system. Exactly like the school system. So if the teachers send out a paper stating what day and times that your child is supposed to have a parent-teacher conference, and you don't show up, they gonna think you don't do what?
care.
You don't care.
Yeah.
So if you don't care, then guess what? They won't either.
Right.
And so I was like, okay, you need to see my face. Because you get a different energy when you're in front of somebody versus talking to them on the phone.
Definitely.
Or versus texting them. You get to see facial expression, and you get to really look in their eyes and really see their soul and really feel what they're coming from. Because they deal with so many murder cases, they get them on that's like 40 going north, like it ain't nothing. So you're going to see me, and you're going to know me, and you're going to know that I'm for real, and I care. Not just about my son, but standing in the gap for other mothers as well. So if they see, you progressing, then that's going to make them come forward and go on. So what's going on in my case, have they made some leeway? Yes. And it's, like I said, once they see you and feel your emotions and know how serious you are, it's like they are more prone to getting on the cases. You know what I'm saying? So be active. Be active. Be active in the case. Be active in what you want to see happen. You know what I'm saying?
Like you said, with situations like this, you tend to become a little more familiar with the procedure when you're actually in it, more so than you probably wanted to before then. So what have you learned about this procedure that's maybe possibly give you some encouragement that there will be resolution to your case in cases like it, or has there been anything to discourage you, make you that much more frustrated about this?
You have your discouraging moments because they can say something so simple as Miss Ware, I don't know. To me, you don't know. You immediately go into defense because you should know. Like you should know. Like in our mindsets, somewhere up there, they should know. Like you're the detective, not me. And it was one person I can solve your case better than you can. And he was like, well dang. You just because you're emotional. You are in a whole nother, it's a whole nother realm. It's a whole nother realm. I thought losing my mother was a realm. This right here, it's like literally someone reached in and just pulled your loins out. It's a whole nother realm. So when somebody can't understand the realm you're at, it frustrates you. It makes you, like one time I was like, so you don't care. Basically what you're telling me. And he's like, wait, what? You don't care. Just say you don't care. I'd rather you tell me you don't care versus you making it like you really care about what I'm saying and you don't. I said, it's fine. Y'all gonna care. I sent them all kind of videos. Pictures of Jonah, videos. You gonna know him like I knew him. So that your heart can be in this just as much as I can. But once again, that's why our minds are as mothers. That's why our minds are as fathers. That's why our mind is as an auntie, our brother, our sister. We want them to feel that same impact. We want them to feel what we feel, and they don't. And by the time they do, you done stop feeling a certain way. You done lost hope. You know what I'm saying? You done lost everything that you strive for in the beginning. You lost all your zeal. You lost all your strength when they decided to occur. So now you're off balance again, like y'all was off balance in the beginning. But you have to maintain that balance throughout the whole thing. Frustration comes, yes. Aggravation comes, yes. Pissed off, yes. Angry, yes. Bitter, yes. Because they're not feeling what we're feeling. Like they can't see what we see. And like I said, until it's in your front yard. So it's in your front yard.
All right, so you talk back in the room. So can you go ahead and introduce yourself? And
hi, I'm Tiffany Duncan. Twins, good friend. Like my sister. Jonah meant a lot to me, so I'm helping her on this journey to keep his legacy alive. Just whatever we can. Whatever we can do to help save our next generations. That's what we're focusing on in the foundation. So we'll talk about all that later, but that's pretty much what my role is in the situation.
we got a guest back there in the back of the room.
I'm the big brother. Yeah. Sergeant is my name.
All right.
Okay. So when does a situation like this, when does it go from warning the situation and trying to deal with the situation into a frustration level like it's reached at this point? Like did it happen naturally, or was their lack of activity just push you to that point. Because it feels
Lack of
like
activity.
lack of activity.
Yeah, and the detectives, 'cause like she said, you know, we're the mothers, so our feelings are really in it. The detectives, they're just, it's a daily job. It's nothing to them. They see dead bodies all the time. But we gonna put everything in. Like me, I've done my whole case on mine for 4 years. I even got people that was in that apartment that helped stab my sons that the detectives didn't even know nothing about. And like I said, it's hard when you're grieving and you got to be the detective at the same time, because the police ain't doing nothing, or the detectives. They're not. They just ain't. It is what it is. You know, and I have biracial kids, and this is how I think about it, and just flat out being real. Because I've been messing with this for 4 years. Even with other people's cases I've dealt with. I'm not trying to pull no racist card or anything like that, but I feel like if my sons were white, I feel like I would already had justice.
Okay, so let's talk a little bit more specifically about your case, because I'm familiar with your case. So your sons were the sons that were found had been brutally burnt, stabbed,
strangled,
beat on,
yeah.
And they're the main person that's being charged in their case.
Bryce Rhodes
has been all over the news. He's YouTube famous at this point for
yes, he is.
world's worst criminals.
Mm-hmm.
So in your specific case, a lot of what has been held up is because of his antics and things that they keep trying to get through. Whether, I know at one point it was whether he was mentally competent or not. They've had to restrain him.
Mm-hmm.
The threats towards the judges recruiting themselves. So through that process, have you been at every court date?
Yes, I have. Every single one.
So
I
for
won't miss one.
right. So for you witnessing this, do they behind the scenes when this type of stuff happens, are they communicating with you? Are they letting you know?
No, they are not. No, they are not.
But they are not.
So you have to basically call for your own.
You have to basically bully them.
You
have to basically threaten them. You gotta talk with straight attitude. You gotta really basically come out of character
yes.
to even get any kind of information. You know, then they had said something to me, was it yesterday? On the way here? Oh, what? So I live it.
So has that been your situation too? Where you feel
Yeah,
like
I didn't even know exactly what happened to my sons until like a couple of court dates, because I was like, well, what really happened? Because when the homicide detectives came to my house on May the 22nd at 10:30 in the morning, they told me my sons were only dead for 3 hours, okay? And so then, you know, with all the rumors and, you know, stuff, it's like, I didn't know what was going on in my own mind, because I'm like, they're not even telling me what is really going on with my sons. Then they try to say I couldn't even view the bodies of my sons because it was like tampering with physical evidence. And I was like, how is that? And they was like, well, they're really bad off and we really don't want you in the crime scene. This is what they're telling me. These are my sons. And I'm like, okay. And so I'm like, well, I need to at least need to see them. And they said they was really bad off and they didn't want me to see it, which I can understand that at the same time. But I've been lost on this whole case, and I've had to call the prosecutor attorney, Tom Wine's office, many of occasions, and deal with these people. And talk to them. I've even had to call Frankfurt. You know, that's how far I took this case, and the feds. I don't play, you know, and I got numbers, and I'm gonna keep fighting for my sons. Like, this is crazy. Like Bryce Rhodes, right now, he's got the coronavirus because I was supposed to go to court last week, but due to him having coronavirus, they relayed the court date again. And they said that they're going to carry trial next year, February.
Wow.
Goodness gracious. So it'll be nearly 5 years by that point.
Oh, yeah.
My goodness.
So I'm keeping the fight up. And I want to help these other mothers out here, because I got very important contacts, and I think they might need to have them because I don't
At
think
this point, y'all each other got.
and we're all we got. We're all we got.
So I've heard the rumors. I don't know how true it is, but there is supposed to have been a group of mothers here in Louisville that have started their own group and like coalition of standing behind each other and fighting with each other,
Oh, yeah.
especially to the children who have been lost to gun violence and been murdered. Have you guys had any contact with any of these other ladies?
Yeah. You talking about moms?
Moms, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I'm in the
Actually, one
group.
supposed to came up today, Miss Juanita, so I don't know.
She can do it.
Oh, yeah, and Marie. Who else? I don't know if Nisha's in the group or not. But Nisha. So, yeah, we've been in contact with those women.
Yeah.
We've been in contact with those women.
So let's talk about your situation with Jonah. I know you said there were some things you wanted to clarify, some of the rumors and things that have been going on. So how were you notified about what happened with him?
How was I notified? I live in Atlanta, of course. So, my son, he was back and forth from Atlanta to Louisville. So this particular day, I got a phone call from my oldest son. And you know, and that, who would want to deliver a message like that to their mother? And how would you deliver that message? So I'm pretty sure he wasn't thinking about none of that. So when he called, it was, Mama, Jonah's dead. Like, what? What happened? I know you playing. You know, and it just went from there. It was, no, he hung up, then he hung up, and called back. And it was like, no, he's on his way to Atlanta. And my mind was like, but my spirit was like, he's gone. Then he called right back and was like, Mama Jonah's dead. And I think before I could even get a tear, before I could even scream my grief, it was just, my phone started ringing. I'm talking about ringing. It was on social media. They had already had pictures. It was R.I.P.
Yes.
I'm just like, wait, just hold on. We called a police station. I said, I gotta know if this is real. Like, it cannot be real life. Like, I'm getting a phone call about my son, and no, this can't be for real. So they calling the police station here. They're like, we ain't never heard it. We don't know nothing about that. We ain't heard nothing about that. So I'm just like, okay, I'm confused. Like, I'm in Atlanta, and I'm just like, is this real? Is it not real? You know, is it true? Because it's like, it's everywhere. Like, my phone, it just was constant. It was nonstop. So that's how I found out about my son.
And unfortunately, you see now in the day and age with social media that the families aren't being notified before it hits social media.
No.
And it's devastating because a lot of people are finding out before the wrong way before family.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then live videos of stuff happening. So for example, the shooting at the gun station off of was it First?
Seen that.
And it was
on
like,
Facebook.
wait a minute, the dude just said shot? Like,
I don't even think the parents, the mother knew.
They
Yeah.
did.
She didn't know first.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It was
like,
all over social media.
like,
Like his body laying out
Like,
there.
the world is so
It's
cold.
sad.
The world
It's
is
sad.
so cold. It's like
Real
they pick up a camera first. And it's how old school I am.
Yeah.
It's real quick, so off the subject, but I went on a date, right? And long story short, the man's car right in front of me got towed. Like, literally, he hooked up the tow truck to the car, and his car literally got towed. I'm sitting there like, oh, my mind is not to think, oh, pull out your phone, pull out your camera, videotape it, because that's not how I was raised. That's not the era I grew up in.
Right.
And so for them to just pull out phones, and I actually saw a video of my son laying in the grass, the dirt, the gravel, and I'm sitting there playing it over and over and over and over where somebody videotaped it. And I'm literally just watching it. Like, it's all I get to see. I didn't get to see him. I didn't get to touch him. I didn't get to hold him. I didn't get to do none of that, but I got a video.
It's an insensitive moment where to somebody it's a viral moment.
It's a viral moment. It's a viral moment. So when we going to stop those viral moments on expense of somebody's pain? You know what I'm saying?
Versus calling for help.
Yeah. Nobody called for help for my
there's
son.
another case that I've
Nobody called 911 for Jonah.
So
Nobody.
Really?
yeah, and there's lots of cases. There was an incident that happened at the White Castles a couple years back where a lady was attacked by another woman and she ran her over in front of her child. Ran over 3 times. And no one from the White Castles called the police. Nobody called for help. And her daughter at the time, I want to say was 7, is out there screaming for somebody to help her.
See,
Because she's watching her mother be ran over by somebody.
Insensitive, like.
So it's definitely.
And then a lot of people living in fear.
Yeah, nobody wants to speak up and say anything.
Yeah, like what's that they have on the streets? Snitches get stitches, and you know, and what's the other one?
That's the only one.
Yeah, like come on.
What people don't understand is that statements are talking about snitching when you see something wrong happen. They're talking about, you know, if you're doing dirt with me, don't get locked up and snitch on me. That's what it's talking about. It's talking about if you see somebody get shot
And
by
killed.
not saying something. That's not snitching. That's 2 totally different things. But because young people are not educated, because young people aren't informed, they don't know. They're scared to blur the line. They're scared to act because nobody's direct.
Then too, you also have now this culture of where people seem to think that it's okay to attack women and children.
Oh yeah.
Like what happened to the no kids? No kids, no mothers,
or
no
just
kids.
the way that some of these things that are happening, people being set up, the carjackings we have happening now, like they're attacking old people now, and it's just like, that's crazy. So it's just one of those things where you're just trying to figure out, like, quote unquote, the street code. When did it change?
When did it change? What happened to what they have? No babies, no babies, no mothers, no women, no children. You steer clear of them.
All of that has now gone out the window.
And everybody's free game.
And it's,
everybody's free game.
No fear of consequence anymore.
Oh my God.
No.
So
That is so true.
This world
It's like a badge.
so cold.
It's like it's a badge of honor.
It's like it's a badge of honor. It's like it's a badge of honor. And you know what's so crazy is that most of these people have money over their heads. Like in the streets, they get, I guess, ranked or, you know, and then they get to brag about it. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, you shot my son, y'all probably done went, gave half eyes up top and finished your crap game and, you know what I'm saying? Now you the man. You know what I'm saying? And they put so much stuff on my son's posts and different things like that. And I'm just like,
What's on the phone?
oh, I told my children, don't respond to their negativity because that's what they want. They want you to respond to them so they can get clout.
And not only that, you're gonna fight the whole world. If you feed into that negativity, it will drain you. So you can't. The only thing you can do, I'm just gonna be honest. You gotta let God fight your battles. Because if you don't, you will go nuts out here. I mean, you really will. If you let it. If you feed into that negative, you're going to be finding yourself arguing with people. And I know, you know, my daughter, she's young, growing up, but she's like, I don't want nobody talking about my brothers and stuff. You know, with the siblings too are involved in this. The brothers and sisters are hurt off the back of this too, because they have to go to school, work, they have to listen to the rumors that go around, that flow around, and they know what really happened. They've been around, they know, and they're like, dang, you know, I'm going to school and hearing this stuff. Like, it takes a toll. It just don't take a toll on one person, it takes a toll on a community.
Exactly.
You know, it's just, man, it's messed up, you know, and it's like the 2 little boys that helped stab my sons. They lived with me in my house for 2 years. I took care of them, and both of their friends turned their back on them because they were lied to, saying they were going to get paid to lure them, Reese and Larry, in that apartment to get stabbed because over some money, and they never got paid the money. And they got them in a room. The police officers went and took them downtown and put them in a room, and they admitted it. You know, they showed where all the murder, where they did the murder at. They took them to the dumpsters on Kingman Road where they dumped all the where they stabbed my sons in the apartment. They took the clothes off. They took my son's socks and shoes off and had my sons laying there in the alley. Took their socks and shoes off their feet and burnt them over there on Cameron Road. You know, you just can't trust friends. You don't. This time of day, there's no such thing as friendship. You know, because it's your friends. It ain't your enemies. It's your friends. It's in your face. It's gonna kill you.
And I wanna make this okay. So when she said that, what's so sad is here's what I got out of that whole thing, and you know, people probably, I pray everyone understand what I'm about to say. Okay, so it's like with the cases with Brianna and all the other cases with the police.
Right.
You know, brutality and shooting and killings of the police officer. Here's the difference. I read somebody sent me a post last night, and it said that basically I don't see the difference. Like we don't favor one from the other. We don't favor police shootings from black on black crime. Yeah, you do. I'm breaking down just like this. Okay, so there's a police officer. You come in contact with a police officer. What is your instant thoughts?
Negativity.
I can either live, or either I'm gonna die. Now, if I act this way, I'm destined to get out of this probably with a ticket. Go home, see my family. Because you already told your wife or whoever, I'll be back. I'll see y'all in a minute. I'm just gonna run to the store. When it comes to our children, they turn around and say, Mama, I'll be back. You know, but they're going to meet a friend though, right? They're going to hook up with their boys. They want to hook up with their friends. But they get to this friend's house, they don't know if they're going to get snaked.
Exactly.
They walking up to their homie. What's up, dog? What's going on? Bow! And they get blasted.
Mm-hmm.
They don't have a choice at that moment to think, oh, if I walk up to his porch, he's going to kill me? Are we going to shoot down? We're going to shoot the breeze, play a video game? That's not their mentality. Their mentality is I'm going over my homeboy's house. We're going to kick it for a minute, Mama, I'll be right back.
Right.
They police, you see them sirens and police lights, immediately your mindset goes, oh God, either I'm going to live,
Right.
either I'm going to die. Put your hands in your pocket. Don't raise down your window. Don't open your door until the police officer come and knock. You can't think like that when you're going over your homeboy's house.
Right.
I'm going to get out of the car.
You have to.
Let me think, okay, he might pull out a gun, so let me have my hand on mine. You don't think like it when you're going over your boy's house.
That's right.
Your friend's house.
Right.
You don't think like that. That's Miss Rhonda.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you don't think like that. So that's the difference. That's the difference. So I'm not understanding. I want them to have the same media attention, the same thing going out as they do for the police shootings and the police. It's the same concept. Murder's murder, regardless if it's somebody in blue with flashing lights or somebody with the same color skin you got. It's the same difference. Both of them pulled the trigger. Both of their bullets and their gun flew out and killed, however, or what happened. You know, so that's the way I feel about it.
That's fair. I understand.
That's why we're having the Jonah awareness, because we're trying to reach out to this community, these young folks, you know, and you know, reach out to them. Like she said, they might need a hug. You know, it might, you know, just it's the fathers not being here, and they need their people. These kids need their father. You know, and it's just it's a lot of pain behind this voice right here. You know, and it's just we got to come up with some type of solution to narrow this down completely, because I mean, I know killings are going to keep going, but at least we can try to do something about it. And just instead of sitting around not doing nothing, we need to do something. And that's why we're here today, to let y'all know that we are going to reach out to the community and help with the Jonah awareness, you know.
So, hi, Miss Lady.
Hi, how you
Just
doing?
walked in. So, can you introduce yourself for us?
My name is Rhonda Mathis, community activist, long-time resident, grew up in Smoketown and been around for a long time, been involved with my community on different issues with different people.
Fireball.
So what is your connection to
What's going on? Well, my connection, I met Toya, well, I followed her on Facebook, but we had the same issue as far as the violence, because I lost 2 nieces. One last year, she was 17. They were not the target, sleep in the backseat of the car, and she was murdered. Just this year, her mother was the one that was found on 32nd and Broadway in an alley. And that's the same place, because I used to be the chair of the Kentucky Alliance Against Racism and Political Repression, and we had a press conference there. And it was ironic that whoever did this, put her body where the press conference was held in regards to her daughter.
Wow.
And they also unloaded on her as far as in her face, that when we had the funeral, it had to be closed casket because they destroyed her face. So these are the type of individuals that's out here. They're predators in our community, and our community silence is violence. Whomever it is, we're going to go after violence, go after all violence.
Yes.
We understand police brutality, but police brutality is that it's an action that we can point and know who they are. We have people out here in our community that we don't know who they are, and they are invisible in plain sight, but people know who they are, and it's not speaking to the issue. So I don't care if it's your child or whomever, you want to make a difference, tell on them.
That's right.
I mean, when I came up, I mean, I had grandmothers who would throw dope down in the toilet and tell their child, you know, not here. You sleep here, you live here, and you're not gonna bring this shit up in here. You know, that's the bottom line. You know, that's how it was. We have to become the village that we was as far as we're not trying to judge nobody, or we're not trying to be the judge, jury of anyone, but there is consequences to your actions, and you need to be held accountable, because we are losing too many of our generations. I mean, I love it when she put it on her. I was on my way out to Newburgh because they was having something for the children. They have this karate. The kids were having a walk last Saturday, and it was against violence. It would say, "Save my life. I love you. I want to live." You know, and someone who had given this event funding took it away because they said the kids was protesting. The kids were not protesting. That was a peaceful march. So the hood gonna have to start taking care of the hood, because this was this white woman who was gonna give up this money, but now she in her eyes saying that they are part of this larger clique of protesters, and they were not. So, you know, we have too many small groups who are trying to make a difference with kids, and they don't get any funding.
Come on.
So, you know, we have to take a look at that as far as the money is being divvied out with the city. Yes, defund the police and refund it back into the community where it is needed. You know, because we, like the ACE program, she's not here, Rose, her son was murdered. She bought the house and turned it into a community place in the neighborhood on Standard. And the community was against it, the neighborhood, but when they saw how the kids was coming, being nourished, getting things, going on field trips, learning how to sew, doing resumes, now they are brought into it. So we have to be the positive change that we want to see.
And where's it at again?
It's at Standard Avenues. She's with moms with murdered sons and daughters. And what's it, Kenny Forbes is the founder. So, you know, as far as all these different groups, what I've seen, I've been out here a while, everybody's trying to do their own thing. And that's fine, but at some point we need to come and collaborate and do things, because we can't do everything just by ourselves. We have to be the family, the community across lines. I'm so proud of the young people who are making a difference, and say they trying to having a voice with the power structure and no more with the status quo. And so our small groups, as far as coming together and saying the same thing with violence, they said we want to be recognized too. We want to have a voice. Then our cold black murders, lives matter also, because I call detectives, they don't call back, or they say, well, we're being stressed out because of what's happening now. They're supposed to be part of their job. They're supposed to be on the case with those who were murdered even before Breonna. But these families are still in pain and have no resolution to what is going on with their cases. Yes, they have, I think, some type of mentoring for the families, but that's not helping them. They want to know answers as to far as how they doing these cases. I had a friend that she gave him information, told him where the person was, and the detective got flippant with her and didn't follow up on it. So, we have to take a deeper look as far as what's going on across the board and hold everyone accountable. We're in a voting season, so we got to use our voice and our ballot to make a difference, because these judges are the ones that you vote for. So those are the ones you need to vote out, who are these no-knocks and so forth, are making a difference or not making a difference as far as with our community. So it's layers, because we understand the institutionalized and systemic racism, poverty, housing, all of that plays a part. But even with that, as far as now, those who we know that we recognize who are perpetrators that's in our community, we're going to say that we can love you, and we're going to love you from afar, because we're not going to allow this continue happening with our young folks and in our communities. We have to take a stand, and with Jonah, he's speaking from the grave through his mother. He said he wanted to make a difference. He said, I'm heavy with God, and y'all going to see, I just feel it in the atmosphere that a change is going to come.
Thank you.
Yes.
It is.
Yes.
So, with your particular situation, with your case, was there any resolution?
No. The young man who killed my first niece, he's locked up. So it's and we've been following that case with the virus. You can't go, but you have to be careful, because it's these plea deals.
Yeah.
That's another issue. They get slap on the wrist and they back out there. So we have to build a foundation, as far as what's going on with our judicial system, and hold those who are accountable, even with this carjacking that's going on.
That's right.
Because it's these young kids, and then some of it's probably adults behind it, because they know that they said we call it in the feds. That's not a federal crime. So we got to look at the bigger picture. When you get them, what are you going to do with them? How are you going to house them? We don't have YC downtown anymore. So, we as a community, we have to, those who are in power or authority, to hold them accountable and just keep it coming from all kind of ways. So to let them know we are for real up in here.
That's right.
Yes.
That's right.
That's right.
So when you all say that you're looking for justice in these situations, what does justice look like? What would justice be to you?
Well, with me, it'll never be justice. Let's put that right there. But the only thing I'm thinking about is what else do they know that I don't know? And that's sad that I have to think like that. But as far as justice, I don't know when I'm going to get justice, because I've been fighting this long. I know I'm going to get it one day, but the justice that I'm receiving, 2 of the murderers are already out, walking the street on a capital murder, premeditated murder. And they only gave them 10 years and 20 years of probation to testify against Bryce Rhodes. There's 5 people involved in this stabbing. Over because my sons witnessed Bryce Rhodes gunning down Christopher Jones on 41st. So I'm just doing all that I can and that I know how to do to fight for my sons. I'm taking this case in my own hands, and it's been in my hands since day one, really. And I've done all the research I can on this case. Now I'm waiting for them to do their job. I'm waiting for them to all they're doing for me is sending me out another court date to go in this case. Because as far as I'm concerned, I did all this. I've called the prosecuting attorney in this case, and I had to really tell them, how to do my own son's case. I'm like, okay, well, after they stabbed my sons, Did y'all check the cameras at that Kroger across the street from Brownsboro Road to see how many purchases of bleach did they take to clean all that blood up in that apartment, in Bryce Rosebaum's apartment that y'all did this in? You know, I mean, I've had to do this whole case on my own, and it's sad, you know, because I'm grieving and you know, I'm trying to get justice for my sons.
Justice, you said, what does it look like? Justice looks like completion. That's what it looks like. Will we ever get completion? As odd as it's gonna sound, I believe so. I believe so. I believe that we are in the era of a movement. A movement. And this movement, I believe, can bring a lot of justification to families and a lot of, right now, what justice probably look like to someone is chaos, frustration, anger. But until we get the answers that we want, my job and my purpose is to make justice look like love.
Yes.
And compassion. And laying aside every weight. And smiling when I don't want to smile. And encouraging when I don't want to encourage. And being there when I don't want to be there. Waking up when I don't want to wake up. Living when I don't want to live. So what we want justice to look like is solved case on the detective's desk and not cold case in a file in the closet. Our detective waking up, going into the office, here we go again. Another case on the table, another 54321 number. You know, we don't want that. We want them, like I said earlier, to see what we see, but 9 times out of 10 they're not. So what we want, what we see, how we see justice, it's just that.
Let me ask you in regards to, unfortunately, one of the most famous cases in the country right now, of course, with Breonna Taylor.
Right.
With that case and seeing how the city of Louisville is handling, quote unquote, handling that case.
Yeah.
Does that, and this is almost a question I already know the answer to, is that kind of discouraging to seeing the ends to your all's cases?
Is it discouraging? No, it pisses you off though. And what I mean by that is, like I said, no ill towards Brianna. God rest her soul. I hated that happened. But, and I know we have so many more. Like those cases they're more prevalent now. They're not, it's like back to back, it's our cases. You know what I'm saying? So, I don't want to say it.
Well, the reason why I asked that is just because of the fact that there are already questions about the judicial system, about the way things worked, about the way that the government handled different things. Right. There was always questions, but there was never a real magnification on things.
Right.
Now, with this case, it seems to be more magnified as far as the procedures, as far as the people involved.
Yeah.
You know, it's
Body
right there in
right.
front of people more so than any time now.
I'm gonna throw in on that is it's also questioning, is the government or our city, people that are supposed to be in power in the city, because I don't want to say a certain type of way, are they setting up some of the things that are happening in our communities because of gentrification?
I think they're leaving it open. I think they're leaving it wide open. I think they are, you know how you let a pack of wolves out and you just won't see what these wolves gonna do?
What the behaviors are.
And we ain't gonna control them. We ain't gonna try to stop them.
Right.
We ain't gonna try to raise them no other kind of way. We're gonna tell them what we want, and we're gonna stop this, and we're gonna stop this, we're gonna stop the prayers in school, we're gonna make it to where the parents can't say nothing to the kids no more. We're gonna tear down all the community centers. We're gonna get rid of all the boys and girls clubs. You know what I'm saying? We want it to now where the kids are so educated they just gonna start talking back to their kids, and we just gonna sit back and
Hope they take each other out.
and we gonna watch. Cause we're gonna have to do nothing.
Right.
We don't have to do nothing. Let's just set it up that way,
Right.
and let's just see what happens.
Right.
Let's just see what happens.
I want to make a comment about that too. I think a lot of that also goes back to the slave mentality.
Yeah.
And
Oh, yeah.
people don't really, I'm not sure if everybody have read the letter of Willie Lynch, but the Willie Lynch letter talks about, Willie Lynch was a slave owner,
Right.
and he wrote a letter to other slave owners in West Virginia, and he pretty much was telling them how to control the slaves.
Yeah.
He told them put light skin against dark skin, man against
Yes.
woman, young against old. That's what he told them how to do it back then. That's still prevalent. Those things are still going on.
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, they're still controlling us, just in a different way. It's just not right in your face. You know, we have leaders that are in leadership positions that are still very big on racism. They feel like they're still inferior. We're still inferior to them. They're going to use the mentality to control us. They use us against each other. They continue to use these things to make us the enemy. You think about the plantation. The house nigga was against the field nigga. They used the field niggas to control the other field niggas. They used the field niggas to catch other slaves. Same thing. It's the same thing. It's literally history has not changed. The only thing is it just looks a little different. It's just dressed up a little nicer. But it's exactly the same thing. And that's what a lot of us really need to understand and teach our children. I homeschool my kids. And this is something that I taught them about. And I asked them, could they see that without me giving any kind of nudge to say, you know, what did you think of any of that? And they told me, yes, that's still true. How we say, oh, she's pretty to be a dark-skinned girl. Like, what does that mean? Like, so, yeah. So, again, this, and, you know, that's why the Jonah Webb Foundation that we started at Mother's Heart is about redirecting our youth.
Yeah.
The event that she was actually on the way to at the park, we were there earlier helping out, and this is her first time doing an event. We were there grilling and everything. Whatever we could do to help her. First time doing it. We was encouraging her, telling her to do more. Other events we've been at, we've been a part of other things. We've been reaching out, we've been connecting. We have to meet another young man that has an organization here that mentors young men. We're trying to connect with other organizations to build that village. Yeah. We're trying to create the village that these young people can go to say, I don't want this anymore. We have kids that come to us, and say, can y'all help me? This is what I want to do. We have a 17-year-old in Atlanta, 2 children, 17 years old, and she said, I want to get into medical field. Is it something y'all can help me with? This girl's in school. Why nobody at school not helping her? She has 2 children. You know, so again, these children have no leaders. They have no parental guidance, no parental support, no love. This program that we're doing, the Jonah Webb Foundation, is not a 6-month program. This is not a 90-day probationary period. This is not based on your income situation. This is solely, if you need the help, we're going to be there to provide that for you. We're going to follow you throughout the entire course of the process, and we're going to provide the help however long you need it. If you're an adult and you feel like you need to come back and talk to us. Come talk to us. We're going to give you that. These children are not going to be our clients. They're going to be our babies. We're taking children and just trying to redirect their thinking. This is not life. This is not life. We want them to understand and know that it's way more to life. The young men we're talking about mentoring under our program, we're helping them to understand and learn about credit, get passports, travel the world, travel with us. So again, it was touched on earlier about funds, and we're talking about where the funds are going. We have a GoFundMe page, and we've been asking people, donate. We are doing everything out of our own time, out of our own dime. We didn't get into this to be rich, but we got into this to save as many as possible. We don't have any leaders for our future generation. We're trying to create them. We're trying to teach children how to be entrepreneurs. Get your own money. Get your own business. Get out of that whole systematic thinking that you have to rely on the government. You don't. Get your own money. It's enough money out here to support each other. Let's get money on our own. Get money on our own, and let's figure out how to rebuild our communities. That's important.
Okay, so real quick, I'm gonna touch on, because she made mention of it, you made mention of it, you made it mention of it. You stated because your children are black and they're considered black, but regardless if they half black, 3/4 quarters, the rule always was 1 drop of blood made you black.
Right.
Yeah. And you stated because they are black, you feel like this has been prolonged out, and if they had been white, dude would have just basically already had his sentence.
They would have had justice. They would have already had justice.
Right. So with that being said, with everything that you guys are saying about that within our own community, we've run into these kids no longer having the street code, this no snitching thing, nobody having standards. The village is gone.
The village is
The
gone.
village is gone. So now you guys are
Exactly.
trying to recreate this village.
Yeah.
So with that being said, what is it that people in their own neighborhood, street, block, community, whatever you want to call it, what is it that they can do to, one, help rebuild the village, two, make it to where these children understand, regardless of your biological makeup, that one drop of blood makes you different off the dribble.
Yeah.
When it comes to certain situations. So for example, we've had to teach our teenagers when they start driving what to do if you get pulled over by the police.
Yeah.
There's a clear difference, as you said, when people get pulled over by the police. You automatically, us as adults, we're like, okay, well, let me get it together and I'm gonna make it home. But these kids, that's not something that they should have to think about. But now you are now being taught off the dribble to touch the ceiling, put your hands as far to the window as you can. Don't reach, don't move, don't smart off, don't talk back.
Exactly.
What is it that we can do as a community to help make sure that not only our kids are being educated in how to conduct themselves in any type of situation, how to view themselves beautifully, but understand that there is a difference, and help them become those future leaders?
I think, in each neighborhood, like next door to me, she's a single mom and she has kids. And from out of the blue, they just start calling me auntie. So auntie hugs them, sit and have a little talk, buy a little extras. What you doing in school? How's school? You like school? So you have to go back in the day when we had those community mothers that would just reach out to a child. It didn't matter. We have to start correcting our young people. I mean, I know people say I'm afraid, because you are afraid this day and age, because it's a different mindset, and because you can correct them, and the mama tell you, that's my child, and don't be correcting my child. So it's a whole different mindset that we have to reach, but we can't give up on it as far as becoming neighbors again and knowing your neighbors and reaching out to the kids.
So, I'm going to ask you this question, because I'm really strongly feeling the vibe that you grew up in the era. Era was part of that era of the neighborhood, aunties, grandmas.
Yeah, you got a whooping, went home, got another whooping.
Right. So, I think my issue is that, like you said, until you're in the situation, you don't even think about the situation. And then now everybody, you're like, well, somebody knows something. Well, why ain't somebody, reach out or say this, that, and the third? But then if you were one of those people that had the mentality of, oh, don't say nothing to my kids, you better not, and you ain't my business, this, and the third. But then when something happens, now you want the community's help. So how do we educate these mothers? Because I'm not going to talk about the fathers, because it starts with the mamas. The mamas is the more prevalent person in the household at this time. Mother dictates pretty much the discipline in the home at this point in time, in this day and age. How do we get these mothers out of this mindset of, that's my child, nobody better not say nothing, my child never does anything wrong, my child could not have been, not my kid, and realize that we are dealing with a different breed of children, because they are not the children that us 80s babies grew up, not even the early 90s. These are a totally different breed of children now. So how do we reconnect, not only getting these kids, as y'all saying, we got to give them options, we got to be able to help direct them, but we also got to get the family, the mamas, or the grandmothers, or the aunties, or whoever, the cousins, aunts, uncles, the daddies, whoever these children are with, on board. Because we can try all day long to help these babies, but if whoever the authority figure is ain't in line, then it's like a constant battle. So how do we do that?
I think we're moving backwards. I think, for one, to protect, us as a group, as leaders, on social media. I think what some people do is they contact the child first. It's out of order. They go to the child first. Well, I want you to do this, this, and this. Feeding them what they want. It's out of order. So already the child think they're grown anyway. Because most of the mothers put their children in a grown-up place anyway. Especially when as soon as the father exits, I leave the house, what's the first thing the mother say?
You the man of the house.
He's the man of the house. And he's 8. So what does he automatically do? He picks up that crown, put it on his head,
And walk.
and now he's an 8-year-old man. Don't even know how to pee straight. Don't know how to wash. Don't know how to do nothing. But in his mind, he's a man of the house. So now I gotta take care of mama. So now I'm gonna have to get out of these streets and do what I gotta do to take care of my mother. So the mother cries and trust, I'm only saying this by experience. The mama's crying and she's working 2 and 3 jobs and she's heavy and she's so depressed and so distraught and so angry and so bitter because she got to do this by herself. So when somebody comes to try to take the load off of her, help her, she don't know how because she's been doing it on her own for so long. She's been playing the mother role and the father role and the uncle role and the auntie role. She don't want nobody else to play in her movie. I've been handling this by myself. I've been doing this by myself. It's just me and you, baby. What she tell him? It's just me and you. It's just me and you. I'll make sure you straight. You're going to make sure I'm straight. So now he has a mentality of not just being a man, but ain't nobody going to be making me straight with my mama. So I may over here can't tell me what to do because you ain't my mama. Me and my mama's a team. And his mama didn't etch in stone what she desired of him. Respect your elders. Go get an education. Let's get you a job. Go outside and play kickball. Get off the game for a while. Go jump rope. Go do something. Education. Go. It's the roles have been twisted. The roles have been rearranged. They've been twisted. The little boy think he's the man of the house. He's getting a misconception because then the mama brings home a man. So now he's confused because he thought he was the man of the house. So now here come the boyfriend trying to tell him what to do. But you told me I was the man of the house. So the roles have just been all over the place. So how can we get that back in line? The mothers have to have accountability. The mothers have to have accountability. Our first baby, we called the mother. I said, hey, I'm Montoya. Because we don't hear from the mothers. The kids are out there. They're doing whatever the heck they want to do. And you don't hear.
Don't see them.
You don't hear grandmamas. Y'all know my grandmamas. 7 o'clock hit that street like bow. Montoya! All the way down the street. And I could be all the way down the street and I heard 10 of my friends, your grandmama calling you? Yo, and I'm running down the street because the street lights on. I knew what I had to do unless I was going to get my butt beat. You know what I'm saying? So accountability. We had to call them up. Hey, so make sure you laugh. Make sure you living. What's going on with you? We got your son here. What's his curfew? Oh, it's 10 o'clock. Because we seen this joke out past 10 o'clock. 11, 12, 1, 2 in the morning. What's his curfew? What is he doing at home that you don't like? Well, I mean, does he talk back? Yes. Okay, we writing all this down. We writing down what else we asked her. His curfew. Does he talk back? Does he give you attitude? What do you want us to do to help you? Tell us, because if you don't tell us, we won't know.
Well, that kind of even goes back to what you were saying about with the school teachers and things, because a lot of communication between parents and teachers in schools is not happening.
It's not happening.
And so, you know, one of the things, and I'm big on, because my mother worked for the freaking school system, so I wasn't getting away with nothing. I don't care if she wasn't at my school. My mother worked for the school system. Yeah, I could try it if I wanted to, but I'm believe in being present. Like, them teachers and people should know who you are. You should have a point of contact the whole nine. So with that being said, beyond just getting the mothers to start being accountable, what about, let's say you've got some of these gun violence victims, people who have been murdered, that came from a 2-family home, lived halfway decent life, you know, parents was involved, but their kid living this whole other alter ego life. They done got caught up in some stuff, and we've seen it happen. Right. We've heard it happen.
And a lot of times that happens because they're still missing something. You can come from a two-family household, but those two parents are focused on everything else. If those two parents are focusing on their careers, if those two parents are focusing on everything else except that child is missing something, he's still going to go in the streets and get them. And sometimes it's not about the parent just being a bad parent. Sometimes that child sees that glitter in the world, the shiny quarter, forget they have $1 at home. But they see that quarter is shiny. I want to get that quarter. I want to be where everybody, what everybody is doing. I want to be a part of that. Sometimes it's not the parent's fault. Right. But again, that's why we work with the parents. And then at the same time, going back to the parents that are saying, don't talk to my child, don't say anything to my child. As far as that's concerned, what we have to understand is that a lot of parents are frustrated. They're frustrated. Like she said, they're angry. So that anger is going to everybody. Since Montoya lost her son, she's giving some of that anger to some people. And I've had to tell them, listen, she just lost her son. Like, you got to sometimes just give her a second. So that anger that they're experiencing, they're sometimes giving it to the children. They're sometimes giving it to the world. And everybody is the enemy because they are so angry. When you have so many problems and nobody's offering you solutions, you don't want to hear anything else. When you have so many problems, people are promising you all these things and nobody's actually delivering, you get tired of hearing what we're talking about. You have women and men promising them all these lifestyles. I'm going to be here for you. I'm going to love you. I'm going to support you. And don't give them any of that. So when somebody else comes and promising them something, it's like, yeah, okay. I just heard it yesterday. They just told me the other day. So they don't really want to hear it. So that's where we, as a foundation, as a village, have to be consistent. We have to give them something. When it comes to the children we're working with, give them something to work towards. We discuss goals. What is something that you want? You want a cell phone? Okay, this is what I need you to do to get that cell phone. You do that, we get you your cell phone. What else you want? We have to give them goals. If they feel like their work is in vain, they're not going to keep doing it. Just like any children, I hate to refer them to like animals, but when you're training an animal, you give them a treat. Every time they do something good. Children are the same way. You have to give them something to work towards. That's why they have award ceremonies in school. That's why they have things that say, hey, you did a good job, and pat you on your back. So all of that, it just goes back to like what we've already kind of reiterated. Just constantly communicating, working together, constantly coming together, providing mothers that support, providing mothers that constant feedback to say, hey, what areas do you need help with? Don't get offended. Get out your feelings. Take your feelings out. Don't say, oh, she got smart on me, or look at she rolled her eyes, or she's too smart, huh? That one, I don't like her. No, it's not about that. We're not here for that. You have to see beyond the pain. You have to see beyond the pain. And if you see beyond the pain, that's what you always say, you'll find purpose in that pain. And you'll find how you can help the situation and become more of an asset than a liability that she
I think consistency.
Okay. So earlier we mentioned that it seems like it's a badge of honor for some of these kids to be able to say, oh, they out here in the streets. So like you said, some of these kids hanging out past curfew, their parents work second, third shift, or they wait till their parents are out of, gone somewhere and they doing the most. This isn't the normal behavior, but like I said, they live in alter ego lives. Like it's legit really happening. How much do y'all believe social media has taken a role in that? Oh, wait. So in other words, that was a yes. That was a yes. But I'm just saying, like, it's become such a badge of honor that these kids, social media, making the TikToks, going live. They find out, oh, such and such is going down at the waterfront, or we going to the bridge because they gonna be fighting, or oh no, they gonna be fighting at the Indies, and they gonna, we about to. So for example, the young lady with the baby that got jumped. At the Indies, like it was over 40-some people.
It sure was.
For what?
Why didn't nobody grab the baby? Why didn't nobody grab the girl?
And that was online, right?
It was online.
Nobody didn't even care about that child being in that car.
Oh.
That's how messed up it was.
And then they kicked out the
They
windshield.
kicked out the-
They jumped on the car.
Yes.
And the rumor is, even though I've talked to the family, is that she picked up her friend from the apartments over there, and they left because the girl had got into a fight with some other girl. It was actually supposed to have been 101. It was done over. They left, went to Indies to eat, get some food, and apparently they followed them, and the other girl wanted to square up again. It was supposed to be a 101. Well, for some reason, everybody's going live. You see about 20 people live all around it. And somebody sees the girl go to grab her friend to stop the fight, and they jumped on her and slammed that girl on her neck.
I remember I was in high school, and it's when everything was transitioning over. Like the TVs was changing.
Yeah.
Like you had to have boxes for your TV. It's like things change. And I remember somebody was like, you know, the whole world's gonna be reality TV. And I was like, ain't no way. You know what I'm saying? Because we used to flick the remote and, you know, go sitting down watching TV as a family. But to literally see what they told me almost 20-some years ago, that the world is really going to become reality TV, and I'm actually seeing it, it is crazy.
Yeah.
It's
Okay,
crazy.
so as a young person, because you the youngest in the room, with now being a person who's watched all this happen to other families, other siblings, people you've grown up with, people you've known, but now to be in that position, how has it affected you?
It hit me hard because it's just something me and Jonah used to talk about, like the stuff that goes on in the hood and how young people is dying and stuff. Like we used to look at each other and just like not necessarily laugh about it, but we'd be like, we cover by God, like it's just real conversation me and Jonah would have. Like we'd be like, bro, we covered by the blood of Jesus. Like this will never happen to us, and then we'll just continue on by a day. Like it's just something me and Jonah never feared. Like we never thought of. Like we would never think nothing like this would happen to us. So when it actually happened, I was lost for words. Like I really still can't sleep. Like I can sleep during the day, but I can't sleep at night. Like you know what I'm saying? Like my whole sleep schedule's messed up, and it's just the hardest part is accepting it. Like I almost called him the other day. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's still hard to, you know what I'm saying, believe he's gone, but it happening to me as a brother, I don't necessarily feel like it's my fault, but I feel like, why didn't I call him that day? Like, why was I at work? Why wasn't I with him? You know what I'm saying? Especially it was his birthday week. So it was just like, that's what make it more crazy. Because 4 days it happened, I mean, the day it happened, 4 days later, it was his birthday. So it's just like, that's crazy. But it happening, it just, I don't want nobody going through it. You know what I'm saying? And it's crazy, but I was on, the point I really wanted to make was, okay, growing up, we didn't have a lot. So like me joining my church, we already knew how it felt to not have nothing. So the point I'm getting to is, you got kids nowadays who can't get the new pair of shoes and stuff, right? It's like you said, the parents is working third shift, they busting their butt to pay the bills. So them kids is like, okay, I want this and that. I'm gonna go out here and rob. So it's easier to pick up a gun and go rob somebody than it is to go fill out an application and go get a job. That's the real problem that we having with the youth. Nobody wants to work.
They don't know how.
It's easier to do something in the streets. Why is it so easy to get access to guns, but it's hard to get an education?
Mm-hmm.
You got to pay for college. You got to pay for trade programs, but you ain't got to. You can go out there and get a free gun.
Yeah.
You can get free drugs. The streets give you more access to life than the government do.
That's how my sons did. And I'm glad that you said that. It's another thing that came across my mind. My sons went and hung with that Bryce Rhodes that I didn't know hardly about, that is a pedophile. And he was buying the youth, even going to Beachland Terrace, going down in there and buying the youth clothes and shoes and providing them with materialistic things and guns. And it was the property that he was reaching to. The mothers that couldn't provide the name brand shoes and clothes. I am a victim to that. My sons did that. That's how they got in this mess from the jump. It's because he was a grown man. Okay? And he lied about his age to everybody. He was in trouble from Indiana. He done kidnapped some little boy at the YMCA in Indiana, held him hostage for 3 weeks, a 15-year-old in his basement, threw a 2-year-old in his a dryer The homicide detectives in Louisville are working with the Indiana homicide detectives. This man is a serial kid killer. He was already on the run in Indiana. And I'm just saying that it's so true what he is saying. That these older guys, some don't care to get out penitentiary. They want shooters on their side. They want to, and the mothers, like he said, trying to work 2-3 jobs, can't be there all the time, trying to gigolo everything. And then they go out into the street, and their daddy probably got life in penitentiary, like mine did. And they go to other grown men to get that, I want to be like they got new shoes and my mom can't provide this and this, that. People don't know what people really go through. They really don't.
So let me ask you a question. So we brought up the carjackings and the rumors and what they said they seem to find out the news reports, press releases are saying, okay, it's a group of young folk. But do we believe that it's just these young folk that thought of this idea?
No.
Do we believe that there's grown-ups that's behind it?
Yeah.
And it's orchestrated.
It's some grown man
A lot of kids out
behind all this stuff.
they
With the guns, the artillery guns. These kids are getting army guns.
They getting what's them Dracos?
Yeah, Dracos. Running around with Dracos.
Draco
Machine guns.
You know what I'm saying? So they like they in the back in the assembly line putting them together themselves.
Yeah, they are.
You know what I'm saying? It's like
These
kids
like
they have a boy
puppets.
missing. It's always a boy missing with these children. Whether it be the father not being in the home, whether it be lack of food. Half of them don't eat.
Right.
They can't eat, don't have any food.
Yeah.
Mother's never home.
Or it's materialistic.
Materialistic.
Keeping up with the Joneses.
Keeping up with the
So
Joneses.
I wanted to bring that up because I think that there's some kids, even though we've touched on all different types, there's some kids that are just trying to keep up with the Joneses.
Exactly.
And it's not that the parents ain't providing. Parents are just like, I'm not buying you a $200 pair of tennis shoes because you're not responsible, or because your grades ain't the greatest, or your mouth, or your attitude. So, as she said, some of these kids are they're going out here and they're linking up with who they feel, oh, this is my new family.
Yeah.
They love me.
Yeah. That's so right.
Yeah.
So, one thing I will say as a mother of teenagers, I believe that we need to take the shiny quarter away.
That's right.
This whole labels, name brand, keeping up with the Joneses thing, it really, I think, is one of the key things that can help. Because back in the day with starter jackets and Jordans, you heard about people getting jacked for their stuff. And every now and then you heard somebody actually died.
Yeah.
For the most part, they got jacked for their stuff beat up, but they lived to see another day.
Mm-hmm.
Now it's nothing. Over a pair of tennis shoes, over a nice
Status.
It
Over
happens more
status.
now because there's no individuality. Everybody feels like they have to blend in.
Yeah.
They all feel like they have to blend in. They all feel like they have to be a part of something. Everybody's afraid to be themselves. So if they don't fit in, if they don't have what the other person has, they don't fit in. So they're willing to do anything and everything it takes to fit in or to be superior to the people that they're trying to fit in with. Like, I might look like these other guys, but I'm badder. I'm more dangerous. I'm more prevalent to do something. You don't mess with me. You can mess with them, but don't look my direction and expect me to act the same way as them.
And won't bust a grape.
Yeah.
And I think that goes back to what we were saying earlier about redirecting their thought process. Like, for example, I have an 18-year-old daughter, and her boyfriend just went to college. He brought 2 pairs of tennis shoes, $300 a piece. And then he was like, well, why did I get a TV for my dorm room? And she said, so you went and brought 2 pairs of tennis shoes, but didn't buy a TV for your room? That don't even make sense. Like, why would you spend that kind of money on that? She's 18. I've taught my kids this from the beginning. I have put in my children's heads so much about entrepreneurship. Listen, go get your money. What we working on? I have my 12-year-old son. He takes computer classes every summer. I'm teaching him coding now. I'm helping him develop his own app. Like, I have instilled in my children early. Listen, all that stuff going to come. Build yourself up now. So that's what I mean when I say we have to redirect their minds. If nobody is telling them you can be rich, you can have those things, You can have your houses, you can provide for your mama, you can provide for your siblings, you can do all these things. This is how you do it. They're going to go to where they see it being done, and they're going to try to get it done. So we have to train them and teach them how to build a life that they want to have, how to obtain those things the right way.
And also, like y'all said before, which I'm real big on, is teaching these kids about credit and finances and saving. And like you said, going out and getting a job versus saying, oh, it's easier just go over here and he gives me this gun or he gives me this dope and I'm gonna go flip that real fast.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think it's ever gonna go away, but it is so normalized now.
It's like,
it's
It
so
really
just
is.
normal. Whereas before it was that little dark alley stuff that you heard whispers about.
Yeah.
You didn't really know or didn't really see it, but now it's just the everyday normal thing. So it's just, once again, how do we get to that part as a community? And I think part of that is having conversations like this, having the foundations, having the events, reaching out to each other and not judging each other, not being like, well, she's angry and I don't want to talk to her, or she's, she got to talk to these people, but I didn't get to talk to them, so I don't want. All that has to stop. Everybody has got to learn how to become the village.
Exactly. You said it's become so normalized, and I believe, I'm so glad you said it. It's just like trigger something, but I believe that's why. I heard a lot of people say, "Well, I don't know how you're so strong. I can't believe your strength." I think the moment my son was gunned down is the moment I felt like God just said, "Here, take all this strength because you very need it." Because you need to show people how not to be normal, how not to flow in the direction the same way that they would normally flow when it comes to your death or your child getting murdered. So I'm going to use you to show a different perspective, and we ain't going to normalize this because they need to see that it's different. Just like he said, I looked at them and I said, how do you think Martin Luther King felt when he woke up every day? You think I want to be chosen for an era like that? You know what I'm saying? To start a movement? But God said everything has become so normalized that when they hear about a young black person getting shot on the street, it's, go take it to Detective Jones and stamp it. There's another case for you. You know what I'm saying? So God said, I want you to be different. I'm going to help you though. Yeah, I'm going to need you, God. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to help you. And he wants to instill boldness in the leaders, the activists, or whatever your purpose is. Because if you don't have the mindset of waking up every day and this is your purpose, this is what's going to be changed, I want you to see the vision. Like I tell people, we got the same vision. We may go about it different perspectives, but we aiming for the same goal. Just like Martin Luther King and Malcolm X. They went totally two different ways. Martin Luther King was praying and giving uplifting words and calling on Jesus. Malcolm X was like, man, blast them fools complaining. You know what I'm saying? We ain't got time for that. We're going to do it this way. Violent, non-violent. What they call violent. But then they came to terms and they understood each other. And once they understood each other, they can make a difference together. And that's why when we talk about, when we on live and stuff, we include every group because we're for the same cause. Maybe think different and we flow different, but if we all don't get on one accord, this thing is not going to work. It's not going to work. You know what I'm saying? And it's a movement. We have to go about it because we don't want it to be normalized.
And I have to add on with her, and what drew me to her is her transparency. Because she kept it real that her son wasn't perfect and he was out there doing some things. And she claimed it and let it and allowed it to be used for a greater purpose. Some of these parents out here, they're going to have to be for real. They won't let go of it. They're going to have to claim it. We're not judging you, but I want my other children and children out here to move in another direction. We all love our kids. But when you go on these Facebook and see kids throwing signs, knowing they in gangs, and you upholding it, I mean, that's the directions they're going to go. And you have to say, no,
we're gonna change this mindset. We're gonna take this off of your page. We're not claiming that anymore because it's getting younger and younger.
When did parents stop checking their kids' bedrooms and
Thank you.
things like that?
Yeah.
Thank you.
But they're not. I mean,
They don't check the rooms.
6 and 7 years old throwing the signs, having all this
They don't
money.
check the pages.
Yeah.
I mean,
Kids got
Well, I mean, because I saw a post on social media. Somebody said, y'all not tossing mattresses? Because how they hiding all these automatics and rifles and guns in your house and you have no clue?
yeah.
Yeah.
Because here's the truth about that. And it might shock y'all, but guess what? These kids ain't home. They can't be. They can't be at home with AKs in their rooms. You believe these kids are sleeping in their room?
Exactly.
Ain't no telling where these kids are staying at nowadays.
Right.
Crack houses or whatever.
Might be staying with OG up the street.
Exactly.
Or they having holding spots.
They got a stash house.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. They having holding spots.
So then in the house, they go straight to that.
Bando.
They go home to change. Then they leave again. They're not at home.
And parents don't ask.
Where you been?
Where you going?
Right.
Where you been? What time you
Even
coming
if
home?
you ask,
Who
they
you
ain't gonna
with?
tell you the truth where they
I go to the car. I just did what.
I'm
Just
saying
have it
my
bad.
kids mad
To the
at
car.
me because I got 5 questions. You can't give me 5 questions in less than a minute. You can't know. No.
Right.
Right.
If I don't know the people, you ain't going.
You ain't going.
Yeah,
That's
I
how you
mean,
gotta do it.
lucky I don't want their social security
Yeah.
number, but I mean I leave that alone. But yeah, like I need to talk to parents the whole night.
Talk to
My
me.
kids are grown, and I still,
Facts.
even with Jonah, I was on my kids. Even with Jonah,
Yeah.
like I said, me and him, we kept in contact. They make choices. Everybody has a right to make a choice,
That's right.
but it would not been right if I didn't talk to him from a mother's heart and tell him the consequences of your actions. That's when I would have failed.
That's right.
I didn't fail because my son got shot
That's right.
and murdered. I didn't fail because of that. So don't be home trying to figure out
Yes.
why this happened to Jonah.
That's right.
What did she do wrong?
Right.
What kind of curse did she bring in her house? None.
Right.
He had a choice. He had a choice. God did not say raise these kids, but don't give them a choice.
Right.
He gave us a free will to make choices. He made a choice.
That's right.
If I had stopped being a mother when he turned 18, then shame on me.
That's right.
Because I don't care what the law says. Just because you're 18 don't make you grown.
Nope.
And that's part of the problem.
I'm still gonna call. Did I not call y'all?
Yes.
Did I not call y'all? I'm still gonna call y'all 18. Where you at? What you doing? Joe was like, Mama, come on what? I don't care about you being 18, don't make you grown. When you out here doing your own thing, get your own place, your own car, your career going, you're stable. Congratulations to grown uphood.
Right.
You got something to say?
Yeah. See, Jonah had a big heart, okay? This man was 19 years old, feeling like he had to take care of 12-year-olds.
Yeah.
18. Jonah put way too much on his plate. He didn't have to.
Yeah.
Right.
He could have left them behind now, and could have did his own thing in Atlanta.
But he
But
didn't.
he couldn't because he cared about them too much.
Yeah.
Mama, I can't. I gotta go back home. I gotta. You know what I'm saying? Jonah cared. See, that's the difference between his death now, okay? Because he ain't just died for no reason.
Right.
Now it's other brothers out here that's making choices that's leading them to die like that. But see, that wasn't a choice. That's not what he was trying to do. That's what people don't understand. Even though he died by gun violence, he wasn't living
By gun violence.
Exactly, he wasn't living that way. That's why I'm trying to. This is what this is about. That's what the foundation is about. And people don't need to forget that. Like Jonah wasn't out here, you know what I'm saying, leading people in the wrong direction. He was caring about these. And people start doing music because of Jonah. You know, his friends and stuff.
Yeah.
He was getting them in the studios. If nobody felt like they didn't want to be home, Jonah, here, I'ma help you. You know what I'm saying? that's how he was. He was just a leader. Like his name, Jonah. You know what I'm saying?
Right. And there's a lot of times that you're finding out that some of these gun violence victims, literally just by happenstance, sleeping in a car, sitting in a car, and there's somebody shooting somebody else, and they in the crossfire. So that's one of the stigmas I think that needs to be taken out of our community. If you hear somebody's gotten shot, oh, they must have been in the streets, or what did they do wrong? Was they selling drugs when they run in the street?
Exactly.
That's not always
But the
case.
detectives feel the same way.
They really do.
Because when he said something to me, the first time I talked to this detective, he made me get all out of my religion, and you know what I'm saying? He said something foul to me. And I was on the phone and said, what you just say to me? Well, you know, the gun he had was stolen. How's that got to do with anything? I said, what does that have to do with anything?
Exactly.
I said, so do you think these kids, for one, their mindset is on protecting themselves? So do you think one of their big homies probably gave him the gun? Do you think they sat in the front seat and was like, oh my, well, let me see if this is registered. Let me go on the internet real quick and type in this gun number. Or, oh my God, let me just make sure.
Do they even know how to even do
Do they even know how to do that?
Exactly.
The only thing they taught them how to do is what? Load, lock, load, be ready. Load, lock, be ready. However you want to put it. You know what I'm saying? So when he said that to me, I said, oh, you must not know who I raised. So let me tell you who I raised. Just so you can understand what you just said is pointless to me. It's pointless. Now if he was still sitting here, then we can make it a point. But what you're saying to me is pointless. Because he's not another number on your desk. And he's not another child that you're just going to throw in the stack. Well, here's another one. Let me just tell you who they killed.
Right.
Just so we can be on the same page. Because you're telling me irrelevant information that don't have nothing to do with his case. Period. So when because you just said it, like the mindset they have about the black kids,
Yeah.
all of them ain't the same.
Right.
All of them ain't the same. All of them are raised different. All of them move different.
Yep.
All of them speak different. Half of them don't even got to be in the streets. They just choose to be in the street because why? Oh, shoot, they ain't gonna talk about me like no dog.
Yeah.
I gotta make like I'm hard. Somebody put on this whole false suit, a wolf suit, and then when I get home, I'll take it off and I become angelic like my mama raised me. Instead of going to his friends and his partners and trying to persuade them to come his way, he's persuaded to go their way. So now everybody's fully persuaded to carry these guns and mishandle themselves. We was talking to kids today, and we was at the park, at Newberry Park. The event turned out great. And we was talking to them, and I was like, we gonna play kickball. You know what I'm saying? And I was like, so don't make me put the stick on your shoulder. And they was like, stick on the shoulder. I said, see, when we was growing up, we put sticks on the shoulder. And then somebody behind you will edge it on, talk about his mama, talk about his mama. Say something about his mama. And then as soon as somebody says something about mama, they knock the stick off the shoulder and y'all start scrapping. But the next day, y'all back best friends. Because that day before it didn't matter. These kids hold grudges.
Reputation means
Right.
They hold grudges.
That badge of honor stuff.
They hold grudges. They can't forgive. They don't know how to forgive. So when God prompted me the night my son got murdered and told me to go live and forgive them that murdered your son, what? I didn't hesitate. No second thought. And I'm like, I don't understand why you did that, God. He said, you will in a little bit. Because if you forgive, it's like a transcend. It's like electric waves going through the way. So it's going to hit her. It's going to hit him. It's going to hit her. It's going to hit him. Just that moment, you said, I forgive them. I'm going to send that electric current out. Because it only takes one to change the whole atmosphere in a nation. Only takes one. Who's going to be that one? Two's even better. Because he put 10,000 to fight. Who's going to be the two? Just going to think 3 and 4 and 5 and 6 and 7, 8, 9, 10, 15,000, 2 million to do. Why can't we rally together for these kids like we rally together for everything else?
Absolutely. All right. Let's say that you are in front of the people that are making the decisions about how this case is going to go and what you're getting ready to tell them. is going to make the difference as far as how this case goes, ends, out. What would you say to them right now? Any of you all?
What would I say to them right now? You ever watch the show? I can't remember what that movie is. And he talked about close their eyes. Was it Time to Kill? Is that what it was?
I think so.
Samuel Jackson.
Time to Kill. When he told them to close their eyes, I just want you to put yourself in my shoes. Put yourself, become me. So you went, worked out all day, and you got good vibes, and you made a video, and you get an unexpected phone call. You ain't expecting that phone call. It ain't like you woke up at 6 o'clock in the morning, like, ooh, yeah, waiting on the phone call around about 2 o'clock. Somebody gonna call me, tell me my son got murdered. I'm gonna wait for that call. No. You went by your day as usual. You get a phone call. If I tell your son, your baby is murdered, and you trying to scramble to get to him because y'all so distant, your distance so huge. But in that distant time, you are expecting the first 48. Let's keep it real, parents.
Yes.
You expecting that seemed to be like first 48. We got 48 hours to solve this case. If we don't find something in 48 hours, then it's a cold case. So immediately our mindsets go to TV. Because once again, we've been programmed
Yep.
to think of that way. So even me telling the tech, I can do your case. Oh, I can't do that man's case. But I don't watch so much first 48, and you know, I watch all the crime scenes, so you think you can solve this case.
Right.
So you want them to feel your emotions. You want them to feel your hurt. You want them to act like Jonah was actually their child.
Yes.
That's how you want them to feel. Like your boys is actually their boys. Your nieces is actually their nieces.
That's right.
We actually want to pick them up and put them inside of us so they can actually feel what we feel. So they can solve this case as if it was theirs.
Right.
Once again, you don't feel that way until you experience it. Until you experience it. So I would tell whoever I'm talking to, if it's gonna make my case go another way, feel what I feel. I told a news reporter, she said, I want to do a show. I said, I'm gonna hang up. I want you to go to my live on this day and you watch it. You wanna know everything about Jonah? It's all in that live. And call me back. She did just that. And she called me back. She said, oh, I swear, I got everything I need to know. I said, the only thing I don't want you to do is taint his name. Don't taint his name. You heard the live. You heard what I said about my son. Don't change nothing out of that live. Don't go try to find nothing to counteract what I said in that live. Don't disappoint me. She did just what I asked her to do. If we're in front of the jury, and we're in front of the judges, and we tell them that same thing that I told that reporter, and they comply, do you know how many murders could be solved?
Exactly.
Do you know how many dried up tears would happen in mothers' faces if they would just listen to us, listen to the witnesses, listen to the information that's been brought to them? I always try not to get emotional, but
It's all right. It's a matter of circumstance.
you know, we want them to feel what we feel. And to listen. She listened, that reporter listened. And when I say she's a dope reporter, is she dope? Dope. Faith is dope. Wave 3. I get a shout out, y'all. She's dope because she listens. She listens. And she's compassionate. And her heart is huge. And it's something that she wants to see change. So if they don't have that same drive and that same heart, then they're really not going to pursue it like they need to pursue it. So, yeah.
Did she speak for everybody in the room?
Yes, she did.
That's what I'm saying.
Okay, so let's talk about this foundation.
The Look, I be like,
Yeah, she did. So, the foundation is called the Jonah Ware Foundation of Mother's Heart. From one mother to another mother or father or whoever. And we basically, again, like I talked about earlier, is focused on redirecting the minds of the youth. We do that through mentorship. We do that through providing different resources, providing life skills, providing whatever they need to be successful. We're providing that. We do that by building a network with other organizations. We do that by just reaching out to as many platforms as possible to gain what we need to be able to spread the word. We've done interviews with United Way. That'll actually be Facebook streamed for their telethon on the 13th. Facebook stream. So we've done, interviews with them. We've hit the news. We've met people across various states. We're meeting with them. This is not just a Louisville thing. This is a national thing. This is epidemic. This is This is a situation that we all as humans need to come together. This is not a black thing. This is a human thing. So our organization is not just for the black kids. It's going to be whatever kid needs help. Whatever kid needs that love, whatever kids need that direction, whatever kids, because these white kids killing each other as well. That's not, act like it's not. This is an epidemic. It's happening everywhere. So we want to focus on the human race in general, working together, building the village, working with other organizations, making teams in different regions of the country. Whatever we got to do, that's what we want to do. We don't plan on stopping. Like I said before, everything we've been doing in our own dime and our own time. So right now, one of the main things we're trying to do is get enough funds into our organization to be able to not just help the kids that we're helping, but help other organizations do the same. A lot of them don't have funds as well. A lot of them have short funds or don't have enough resources. They don't have it. So we want to make sure that we can help them in that area if we can. So we don't want to just stop. Louisville is a small drop in the bucket compared to all the rest of the United States. So we just want to do as much as we can. So right now, like I said, we have the GoFundMe is the main source of donations that we're receiving right now until we get everything situated on the back end. We have our t-shirt sales. They're $30 for every shirt. Again, all the money goes to the foundation. Not a portion, all of it. We are actually still in the process as well as in the process of releasing Jonah's music. We have a video that we'll be releasing shortly. We have a single we'll be dropping verbs in the next few days or so. We'll be doing a single release party around that. All of those sales from that music will also go back into the foundation. This is not something that we're doing to get rich. We want to do this to help as many as possible. So we tell people all the time, say, what can I do? Like, how can I help? Donate right now. And I know everybody's pocket isn't deep. So it may not be money. It may be the phone. We had an event and we say, hey, can you bring something? You have food stamps? Go to the store and buy some waters. Whatever we can do, we're trying to just, again, rebuild that village. And by working together and just continue and focus on our children, letting our children know we love them, letting our children know that we care about them, letting our children know that there are other ways, other means, and we just want to just provide that for them. So this is a very close subject to our heart. We're very passionate about it. And like I said, we're definitely not going to stop. So,
and also with the foundation, it's broad. It's broad. Even with Marie, we want the mothers who probably never wanted to speak or finally get to release. We want to give them that platform to release. So when you release all your emotions and stuff you've been harboring, it gives you freedom. It's just a sense of freedom to where you are free to get involved and free to get in the community. Because some of these mothers are just shut in like a shell because they don't know how to release. They don't know how to let go. So the Jonah Ware Foundation is also an outlet for mothers. We want to reach as many mothers who's hurting, who's giving up on life, who has nobody to talk to, nobody to trust, who wake up every morning missing their son. I don't want, if I could prevent any mother from feeling this pain, I would. That's why it's so important to me to save these kids, to get a hold of these kids. I wouldn't dare want another mother to get a phone call like I got. Not in a million years. Not in a million years. Whether it's your first child, second child, third child, fourth child. It's still your child. It's still your child. So we are gearing towards the mothers, the fathers, the babies, basically the whole community, creating a village again. I miss the village. I miss my grandmama now. I miss family reunions. I miss the kids knowing what it feels like to sit at a table and dinner's at 7 o'clock.
Honey, how about just going outside and being able to play?
Being able to play.
Right.
Being able to play. You want to go outside and you can't even play without one of a car come down the street and blast on you. I blasted the neighborhood, period. So we just want change. We just want change. We just want change. We got people praying for the foundation, praying for the mothers, praying for all the foundations, praying. We got people donating. We got people giving their time, and we really, really appreciate all of that. So,
And I do want to add too that we talked to a young man who is very much into the community. We had a conversation with him just the other day. We were flying back home, and he said, "It's no other organization that's doing what y'all doing in Louisville." He said, "It's none."
Yeah.
He said, "So what you guys are doing is original. It's unique." And maybe that's why we've been getting so much, support, and so many people saying, "I want to help," because nobody's not doing it. So that really, really made us happy. Like, that really was like, wow, like, are you serious? So that made us want to do it even more. Like, okay, we can't stop. We cannot quit at this. We have to keep going. Because if nobody thought in their mind, like, let's reach these children, like she said, we got to start with one person. So that's what this foundation is about. This foundation is simply about, again, just redirecting our youth, rebuilding our communities, helping the parents, being that safe haven for whoever may need it. Safe haven is very important. Being that safe haven for them, and being consistent.
That's what Jonah was. That's what he was. That's what he was. He was a safe haven for those kids. He wake me up at 3 a.m. I gotta go tend to such thing in the park crying. At 3 a.m. But then mom put him out. Mama, what I'm supposed to do? I'll take Rocky with me as a pit bull. So he would do stuff like that. It's stuff y'all don't know about my son. I would have to get in the car, drive kids around, pick kids up, drop them off, come home. I'm like, who is these kids in my house? Mom, they need a safe place. A safe place. What happened to the safe places? I came home one time, a child was in my prayer room. I said, who's in my... He said, well, he just said he needed peace. He couldn't find no peace. That's what the organization is about. He started this organization. Jonah started this organization. He just passed me the baton. And I'm just running with it.
Okay. So I know we have a couple tracks that were sent over. Do you want us to play them?
Sure.
Okay. So,
Y'all listen to them?
Nope. So, I have a rule.
Okay.
I have a rule.
Chosen One and Big Homie. Homie's home.
I'm gonna do this one.
Which one?
I have the clean version of Big Homie.
Yeah, because I'm going to say he really wasn't a cusser.
No, I'm not like that.
Yeah.
Well, I'm the boss. Who's going to tell you? Okay.
Exactly.
So, here's the rule. So, for those who don't know, thank you guys for tuning in to Power106 FM Ky Radio. I know we have just been in here talking. Thank you guys for tuning in on this afternoon. We are doing a special edition of Meeting in the Ladies Room, Ky Radio, and the Listening Room Party series combined, because we felt like this was important. And the person that we have been speaking about, Jonah Ware, was also known as Little Flex. And he was working on a project that is going to still be released, which is going to benefit this foundation and try to help build this community and help young people. So the general rule I have is I never listen to the tracks.
Okay.
Reactions off is pure, just that's how it is. So I never listen. I always just request clean music. I've taken a fine or two, but that's okay. That's okay. So, for the first time ever here on Power106.3, Little Flex, Chosen One.
Till I die, then I celebrate. Make money for my fans are the enemy. And I'm smoother than a shot. Hennessy. I hit it, then you go. Me.
That was Chosen One by Little Flex. Next up is Big Homie Talk.
Love. Okay. I ain't tryna brag. I hit a gun and she calling back. I got a face down in the phone, dog. Hit a gun and that's running back. In my lane now, won't change now. New story, no going back. He talking again, I'm chasing him down. I'm sorry, that's me, that's how I react. Get on. I don't really care what you may. I spend any day to be I get you put on. And I curve my way, come through, switch your lanes, now I get you hood on. Took a bit lost, I forgot what I made. I'm gonna keep going. Heard for beef, how to do my thing. I got about 400 young boss. I can make a flow with no boss. Right floor, right on my draw, she taking it off. Younger with sipping no boss, have a quarter, they get you knocked off. She gon' throw it off for a bag. Me and bro smack that stack. I hit her one time, I'm doing the dash. She calling my phone and she mad. Hit her one time and I'm gone. I'm putting my life in these songs. I know what I did, I know what I said. I'm doing it, dash and I'm gone. I done took a lesson, need it all back. How to stick a midget like a thumbtack. Smoking on strong, I know that I'm wrong. I'm laying them down like a doormat. I ain't tryna brag. I hit a gun and she calling back. I got a face down in the photo. Hit a gun and that's running back. In my lane now, won't change now. New story, no going back. He talking again, I'm chasing him down. I'm sorry, that's me, that's how I react. Get on. I don't really care what you may. I spend any day to be I get you put on. And I curve my way, come through, switch lanes, now I get you hood on. Took a bit lost, I forgot what I made. I don't really keep counting. changing it. I'm loose, going, I'm going back. He talking again, I'm chasing him down. I'm sorry, that's me, as I hurry out to that get on. I don't really care what you may, I'll spend any day. Yeah, I get your put on. I'm not curling my way, come through, switches later, now I get your hood on. Forgot what I made, I don't know, keep count. Heard for beef, I done put my 10, I got about 400 rounds.
You are tuned into Power106 FM Ky Radio Live.
All right, that was Big Homie talk about Little Flex, first time ever being played. So first off, thank you for allowing us to be able to debut your son's music. Definitely dope. So with that being said, I know you guys have been working on towards having the video release, listening parties and things such of that nature. Have you guys came out with the dates yet, or you're still working towards it?
We're still working towards it.
Okay.
Still working towards the dates.
The video. Oh my God. So Jonah is my brother, right? So
Right.
I did not see the video until like 3 weeks ago. The first time I seen the video. And when his manager showed me the video, I couldn't believe it, because it looks like something like Lil Wayne or somebody would do. Like, this video is so professional. And I was shocked, because I'm gonna stop talking to Dre. I'm like, Jonah was coming like this? I'm like, how come I ain't see the video? Man, I was like, how come I ain't in it? I mean, the pool, the expensive cars, the jewelry. I'm like, wow, like, and I'm like, Dre, whose idea was to do this? He was like, Jonah's. And I'm like, okay, see, Jonah was just so visionary, you know what I'm saying? Like, he directed his own videos and stuff, and just like that video is just, it's crazy. So I really can't wait until that video come out, because people are gonna see how serious he took the music. Like, that video is, I'm hyped for it.
Okay. Well,
The video's crazy.
we are proud to be the first to be able to debut some of his new music. So once again, thank you. And I know I've had your permission to put it into rotation once the official release happens. So you definitely will be able to hear Little Flex here on Power106 FM Ky Radio, and also online at www.kyheartmedia.com. If you missed any of this show, we are having it recorded audio, so it will be able to find that under the Meeting in the Ladies Room show file, so you can go back and check out this show, get information. On the live stream, we will make sure that Ms. Ware is going to put the foundation information, put the information for the GoFundMe, and any contact information that you guys need. So you definitely can go find the live stream at Meeting in the Ladies Room, KY Radio, Power106 FM Ky Radio, Speak On It Radio, and I believe my page and Dre the Gemini's page. I think he did his from his page. So there's lots of live streams, guys, so you cannot miss it. So once again, we want to say, guys, thank you for being here and having this honest and open conversation, no holds barred. And hopefully we will be helping to create another spark in change for the human race.
Amen.
So, once again, thank you guys for tuning in, and we will talk to you later. I will be back on Wednesday with Happy Belly Bistro, so definitely tune in Wednesday night, 8 p.m. for Meeting in the Ladies with KY Radio. It's your boo, Miss Natty, and we are out.
This is so awesome. Thank you.
KYHeartMedia.com.
But yes, once we get everything together, you know you are
It's the speaker. We got too many phones and stuff going.
So once we get everything